week's episode of Boonboomger is so good. Okay, yeah, definitely not as hype as the previous episode, but I think it fits in really, really nicely with whatever they wanted to achieve in this episode, yeah. Is it a little fast? Maybe, but let's get into the full discussion, yeah. So, welcome to the channel, Tokuketsu channel, and I'm your host, Kochi Caturteer. Alright, so on this channel I talk about my thoughts about Kamen Rider Super Sentai and all those stuff, so remember subscribe to this channel if you don't want to miss out more on my content, yeah. And yeah, let me know in the comments what are your thoughts about this, yes, yeah. And what else would you like to hear from me about, like, you know, Tokusatsu, Kamen Rider, Super Sentai, Garo. Yeah, I should be doing a Garo video soon, but anyways, yeah, let's get into the discussion. Okay, so for full context, I actually watched the Kamen Rider Gotcha before watching this, okay, yeah. And one thing I'm gonna start by saying is this week's episode, this week episodes, okay, for superhero time, is it like the week of sucking? Alright, first you have like you know, Kamen Rider wins, suck, and now this episode you have a vacuum monster who goes suck. That's a week of sucking. Okay, yeah. Okay, anyways, yeah, putting that aside. Okay. Alright, so in the more serious talks right now, not really serious, but yeah. Okay, so this week's episode definitely not as hype as last week, because I believe last week is, you know, it's like debut episode, you have to like make that strong impression, yeah. This week I think they are like, you know, I feel they did a very good job setting up the world building, yeah. You got the Boon, who's an alien, and then a space being, Uchu Jin, space being, yeah. And Uchu Mafia, which is like space mafia, yeah, which is the enemies, yeah. So I kind of like the fact that they got all this things set up, yeah. And even within the dynamics for the main Boonboomger team, yeah, I like that they're like, you know, ironing out some of the dynamics, like, oh, Blue, how did he join, and why does he not, like, you know, recognize Pink as a good member, yeah. And how does Red run things? Okay, so Red reminds me a bit like, you know, Don Momotaro in a weird way. So does that, yeah. You know, I like how they're like building up the characterization, the difference between the people, yeah. And like how each character will react, yeah. So I kind of like this initial build up. I think it's really good, really solid episode, yeah. Even on the enemy side, like, you know, setting up like the hierarchy of the enemies here. Obviously, I think the current so-called the big boss they're reporting to is the way he sounds and behave sounds like, you know, probably just a mid-tier person trying to act big. Actually, just my thoughts. Yeah. I mean, we've watched enough Sentai, we've watched enough Toku, you know how this goes, yeah. Alright, in terms of the jokes and the hilarity, I think this episode is really funny, especially the last part. But one thing I really got to say with this series here is I find it so far in terms of like the camera angle, they have like this very I love to go from low angles up, yeah. It's not just one shot, but a lot of shots they are playing with very low angle shots, yeah. I kind of like it, but I start to like realize that, hey, is this like a style whoever's handling the photography of director of photography, yes, yeah, the direction of photography, you know, I think they have like that style of going low angle up. It's not a bad thing, don't get me wrong, it's not a bad thing, yeah. It's just noticeable when you like notice it, like, you know it's happening, and you kind of like, this is kind of happening. Alright, another thing that I want to bring up is somehow this episode, okay, I kind of realized, you know, Boon's costume, okay, yeah, the chest costume, but it will hear my reaction video, which I'll be uploading shortly, okay, yeah. So what I like about the costume, okay, yeah, is you can actually see like the gap, okay, between the body and the front of the chest, yeah. And it really shows, like, I like how they detail it in a way, and the shading, the shaping of the area, yeah. It'll actually replicate, like, you know how the toy is like mostly hollow on the chest cavity because of the gimmick, yeah. So I really like that they actually like replicate that in the mecha suit really nicely, especially for a low angle. I was like, oh wait, I even like, you know, rewind a bit and like, during my first watch through, by the way, yeah, I rewind a bit and got, holy meow, that is chef kiss attention to detail. I love that. Yeah. Okay, and about this episode, I think it's story plot wise, it's there. Okay, yeah. But I love like how they're keeping up the fun hype. Okay, yeah. You know some episodes they go like, oh, it's super hype, it's super funny. Episode 1, episode 2, you kind of like drop off. Gotcha. Okay. Alright. So I love how they have been keeping a hype, keeping the style of the show. Okay, yeah. And it really reminds me of the older Heisei series, yeah, Mega Ranger. Not so much Shinkanjas, yeah. Mega Ranger. A bit Deca Ranger. You know that there's a bit of hilarity kind of feel to it, yeah. What's a good series to describe this one? If you look at more recent series, definitely Kira Major. You know, the kind of light-hearted feel. I really love how they're going for that, yeah? Instead of like just going all deep and all, you know, dark. Yes, yeah. I mean, it's really a different turn from when compared to like King Oja, yeah. Alright, I know King Oja is a really, really good show, yeah. And having to like, you know, debut immediately after King Oja, I think it's a very tall order for Boonboomger to keep up. Yes, yeah. But so far I think it's doing good. Just don't have the same expectations, yeah. It's like, okay, can I put it this way, yeah? I go, aside from Kamen Rider and Super Sentai, I watch like Precure. I don't go into Precure like expecting, oh, the deepest story of all, yeah. I don't go into Pokemon every week like expecting the deepest story of all, yeah. This is why I'm coming in with a light heart, yeah. So long you give me a good, enjoyable one episode, yeah. You give me a good, enjoyable series, yeah. I'm fine with it. I'm fine with it, yeah. But one worry I have personally, yeah, is it feels like they cram a lot of information into this one episode. I know it's world building episode, yeah, but I feel like a lot of information was crammed into this one episode, and my worry about it is Super Sentai has this very bad habit of adding too much fillers. Yes, yeah. So even like series I personally enjoy, okay, yeah, like Lupin Ranger versus Pato Ranger, yeah. The first half of the series is so story filled, and then the second half felt like fillers, yeah. You get where I'm coming from, yeah? Alright, so like in this case, yeah, I'm like hoping that they don't turn into really strong first half, and then we go in the second half fillers, and then the last 5 episodes panic and try to stuff in a lot of story, yeah. In a way, like Zenkai's had this problem, a very obvious one, Zenkai's, you know, where, you know, out of the blue, oh, the father is back, Stacy's back, you know, everything just cramps in the last 10 episodes, yeah. But in front, there's just so much filler. I'm just a bit worried it might go that route, yeah. I mean, it's still a good weekly to watch show, yeah, but if you're gonna binge watch it, you start to feel like it's a bit painful. And then at the end, you got like, if only they had a bit more time to end the show. They did have time, they just didn't use it, yeah. Okay, so I'm a bit concerned and worried about that aspect, yeah. Like, I know Kamen Rider has a bit of that, but it's not as bad as you know, Super Sentai in the overall grand scheme of things, you know, like even Kamen Rider Saber, which I personally have issues with the story writing and pacing, but it was not as crammed up as this, yeah. Yeah, overall, I'm really liking this. Oh, one more thing I really appreciate is they did not stuff in the second form in episode 2, yeah. It took the time to story build and didn't stuff another form in like immediately, so good job. I like it. Okay, so that's overall my thoughts on Boonboomger episode 2, or at least so far up to episode 2, yeah. I know I said a bit more, but yeah. Okay, definitely looking for episode 3. Okay, yeah. I really have no idea which direction they'll be taking this, yeah. Definitely a more hilarious direction. Okay, but I do not know where they're gonna take the story of this. I'm waiting to see what's gonna happen. So hope y'all enjoy as well. Let me know in the comments what you thought about this week's episode, and I hope to hear from you in the comments. Hope to see you around. Subscribe not to miss another video, and I'll see you in the next one. Yeah.